Welcome to Art Stock. I'm Bill Roberts.
I'm Jennifer Boudreau.
How you doing, Jen?
I'm super good. It's my birthday month, so I'm like
That's
extra
exciting.
good.
Extra exciting. Have you put out any kind of gift ideas? What you're looking for?
Anything expensive, really. Yeah, I'm pretty open.
Anything expensive.
Yeah.
Good. Well, it won't be coming out of my wallet then. So
Oh,
I'm sure Sean has something very
That
well
hurts
planned
me.
for you. Sorry.
He does, and because it's technically my new year, my New Year's resolution for my 29th maybe year.
Oh.
Yeah, because
You've
I got
heard that.
married,
First on Arts Talk.
so I decided that now I'm married, I don't need to work out or eat healthy anymore. Well, I've decided that I probably should continue that. So my New Year's resolution is to do 7 minutes of working out every day.
Excellent. Well, you got to keep us up to date on how that
will.
plays out.
I
Anyway,
will.
another show. We've got some great guests coming up. We have
Yep.
Vicky Lau from Animathon coming on.
Super exciting.
And you did some stories.
I did. I went back in time. I went to Fort Edmonton Park, all
Time
the way
travel.
back to 1846.
That is a long time.
It was fun. I met some really interesting characters, some cool art stuff. I'm excited to show you.
Great. Well, we'll be right back after this.
So since I'm going to do a little bit of time traveling this show to Fort Edmonton Park, I thought I would start out by taking Bill into the future and
Wow.
meeting someone from Overland.
That's exciting.
Yeah, this is Vicky Lau, my very bestest friend from the Animathon, and she's here in her kick-ass costume. And please tell us about it. You're
Yeah, that
who
looks
from
great.
Overland?
So this costume is from Overwatch, and
Overwatch.
the character is called Tracer. And you can tell she's has her guns, and
She
she's really
does.
fast, and she gets powered up with her armor here in the front and the back piece.
Nice.
Cool. And so the front piece with the blue light, is that a power source?
I believe so, yeah.
And so what happens? What does that do?
It makes her run really fast.
Can you do that right now? Oh, look it.
Well, I just did.
I know.
You couldn't even catch it.
I
I was
didn't
that
even.
fast.
The viewers probably didn't even see her
That's
leave.
amazing.
Exactly.
Wow.
So
That's
how long have
amazing.
you been with Animathon?
I've been with Animathon for about 6 years now on the staff team.
Nice.
So, but Animathon has been around for 23 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have some crazy stories? Like, what's the craziest thing you've
The
seen?
craziest? Well, we barely get any sleep during the weekend of Animathon just because we're really busy.
Nice.
But nothing. Well, I travel to a lot of conventions, so nothing out of the ordinary, really. Just really busy, lots of things to do. And
Do you have kind of a favorite costume that you like to see people in, or least favorite?
I think it really depends on the person what they like most. For myself, I always have like a new favorite costume every time I make a new costume, so it's really hard to kind of pinpoint down on.
So you make all your costumes yourself?
I do make all my costumes. This one I did have some help with my friends just because I had 2 weeks to make this costume.
Wow.
Wow,
So
That's awesome.
that's crazy.
So what can we expect this year? Like any surprises?
this year at Animathon, we're hoping we'll reach 10,000 attendees.
Wow.
Last year we had 9,400 attendees.
Well, we need 600 more.
Only need 600 more, yeah.
That's awesome.
And where is it this year?
It's at the downtown MacEwan University campus.
Okay, is it usually there?
Yes, it's been there ever since the first one.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I've driven downtown a couple of times, I think, during the Animathon and seen all sorts of crazy costumes walking down the street and just loved every second of it. How do you choose your guests who's going to be doing panels or interviews at the Comic-Con?
We have a guest team
Right.
that manages all of the requests that our patrons do submit, as well as every year we have a yearly budget we review what we can
Okay.
afford. We have a budget for international guests and a budget for North American guests, so that helps
Right.
kind of decide who we can bring over.
And who's the big guest this year?
This year we have a Japanese band called Another Story.
Oh, nice.
And we also have a cosplay singer wrestler from Australia called Lady Beard.
Ladybeard.
Yes, he's a wrestler that wears pigtails and dresses up in cute maid outfits.
Wow.
Yes.
That sounds exciting.
What kind of music does he play?
hard rock, heavy metal.
Seriously, no.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And so is it also like a trade show as well, where people can come and purchase things for their own costumes or the
Yeah, we
games
have
that they're from?
we have a vendor hall, and our vendors sign up with us. They can open a store there and selling different products like books, DVDs, costumes, stuffed animals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So just really quick, we got to wrap up. Where do people find out more information?
Go to animethon.org. That's ANIMETHON.org.
Wow.
Or our Facebook page or Twitter.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for being on the show, Vicki. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wow. That was an excellent interview with Vicki. I'm not exactly sure where she blasted Jen and I off to, but she sent Jen actually all the way to our wonderful Fort Edmonton Park, 1920 Street. Let's head to Jen.
Hi, welcome to Fort Edmonton Park. I'm so excited to be here interviewing Suzette. She's going to tell us a little bit about the park and a little bit about what she does here, and then we're going to go and meet some of the interpreters today. So Suzette, please, what do you do with Fort Edmonton Park?
I'm the marketing and communications coordinator, so I oversee all the ads that promote the park, as well as things like tourism and just trying to get more people to come to the park and to learn about Edmonton's history in a fun way.
Excellent. So where are we right now in time?
Right now, we're traveling back in time. We are showcasing 1920 Street. So we start at 1846 at the fort, and then we move forwards in time to 1885 Street, 1905 Street, and then 1920 Street. So that's where we are right now.
It's amazing how much has changed in such a short period of time. What's that, like 80 years in between the two? And it's a significant change.
Yes, at the fort you'll see things were very different back then. In 1920s it was the rise of entertainment, so you see a lot of fun things like the Capitol Theatre and the Flappers and things like that in the Midway. So it definitely a lot of change in a short period of time, and even from 1920s to 2016 there's been quite a few changes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. We're going to go do some exploring and talk to a few of the characters from 1920. Okay, so we are standing in the peony garden that Dr. Brander here has been cultivating for a while, and it is so beautiful. Are these your favorite flowers?
Yes, they are. Just like my father, I share a love for peonies, and I started this in 1921 as a hobby garden for my father, for him to do when he retired. But he's kind of taken over a little bit as my manager here right now, because I am a doctor still, and I still do practice. So, but I do love to come down to my gardens here.
It's
right now
so
I have
beautiful.
about 200 varieties of peonies here.
It's beautiful.
Yes, yes.
And how close are we to your clinic?
Oh, not too far. I'm just down by White Avenue here. So my Silver Heights peony garden here is located down on 82nd Avenue and the area we call Bonnie Doon.
Okay, we've come back into the pharmacy with Dr. Brander now to talk a little bit about what it was like to get medicine in the 1920s. And it looks pretty ridiculous, so tell us some of the most life-saving ingredients in the medicines here.
Well, at that time, people thought that lead, mercury, even arsenic had healing properties at that time. But of course, by the time 1920s came along here, our knowledge of medicine's a little bit better. But, we still use things like cocaine, heroin, opium in some of the drugs. The thing is that the doctors here, the pharmacists today here with druggists, actually mix the medicines themselves here. So we don't do any of that. The doctors don't do that. Just
kind of makes me wish I was medicated in the 1920s, I think.
I think most people were back in those days without them knowing it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're standing in Mr. Klein's jewelry store with Mr. Taylor, played by Cedric, and we're going to ask him a few questions about the process of becoming Mr. Taylor. So when you auditioned for this role, did you audition for Mr. Taylor, or did you audition for the park and they assigned you?
So the way it works is you go through the interview process with the City of Edmonton, and then you become an interpreter. And we do have training seminars about character development, so they give us we do have like a sheet with a bunch of questions which you can go through and sort of figure out your alignment to some of the key issues at the time. One of the ones I always think is very interesting is like, what do you think of the Irish, for example? So if you're a starch colonialist, you might not have as nice of a sentiment towards them as we do as currently, or if you're an immigrant, you may be very sympathetic towards certain people like that. Yes.
Oh, interesting. So how much research would you put into this?
A lot. It depends on the sort of character and the narrative you're trying to tell. So, for example, I am the returned veteran on some days, as I have my returned veteran pin. And you have to look into things like the regiments and sort of within the battle honors that they would have received. Sort of you adapt your character to where you are on the days running clients today, and you adapt that to your narrative as well.
Oh, wow. So a long process. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today and for breaking character slightly. We won't tell anybody, we promise. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the future. What did you think of the 1920s?
It was awesome, Jen. You went all the way back to 1920. I didn't know you were a time traveler.
I did. I met a doctor, I must say.
Wow.
It's lovely.
That's pretty amazing.
But married.
Well, many years ago, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I hear that you've got an upcoming play in the Fringe Festival. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I sure do. It's called Inner Voice. So it's a two-man show. Nice. And Inner Voice being a quick little synopsis. One man ends up having a bad snowmobile crash and ends up hearing some things from his inner voice and goes through some things that he probably didn't want to really deal with. So it should be a pretty good show. It runs the whole run of the Fringe Festival.
Wonderful. Well, let me just get into when those dates are so people can come and check out Bill at the Fringe if you would like to.
That would be awesome.
So our annual, this is the 35th annual Fringe Festival, and it runs from August 11th to the 21st. So make sure you get down there and see all of the local talent and some really awesome plays. We also have every Thursday night, Latitude 53 is doing this super fun summer patio series. So you can go and hang out under the backdrop of some locally created contemporary art from 5 to 9 p.m. and just have a nice after-work social event.
Cool.
What you got?
I've got some great events too. Out at Festival Place in Sherwood Park, they have Under the Big Top, which is a great program for kids who want to learn how to do circus-type activities. Anything really gives them a good feel for what it would be like to be in a circus. Cool. So that runs Monday through Fridays, starting summer of 2016 out at Festival Place. More information, festivalplace.ab.ca. And I also have Art on the Patio, which is also at Festival Place, and that gets underway, and it'll be on Wednesdays from 6 till 10 p.m. So that's another great event out in Sherwood Park. So we got to toss to Adora, our street reporter.
Awesome.
She went out and covered a great little story on Kerry West and Soka on the Boulevard. So let's throw it over to Adora.
Kerry West is right around the corner, and downtown Edmonton is going to be filled with vibrant colors and the sweet melodies of calypso music. I'm here live on location at Boulevard Supper Club to get a sneak peek of what we're going to see at this year's Kerry West Festival. I'm here with Anna Edwards, the president of Kerry West. Anna, how important is it to have such a huge platform every year to showcase Caribbean culture with Edmontonians?
It's very important to our culture. People come to the carnival from all over the Caribbean, and in Edmonton, we really want to bring that carnival spirit to our city. Carnival is such a joyous and happy time, and if you notice in the Caribbean, once you leave the Caribbean and you go to other countries, we want to bring our carnival in that spirit and make everybody as happy as we feel during the carnival.
It's an exciting time. So another question that I have for you, is there anything that you're doing this year that's different from last year's carnival?
This year we're going to do our Friday night extravaganza at Churchill Square. So it's going to be an outdoor open show, free to the public. So we'll have entertainment. You'll get a preview of the costumes that are going to be in the parade. And we're going to have a little children's carnival so you can see the next generation of carnival mass coming up. So we're excited.
And that's some of the events. Is there any event in particular that you're really excited for to showcase this year?
Well, this year we are super excited. We're bringing Destra Garcia, the Queen of Bacchanal, to Edmonton for our Saturday night fete. So we're going to be putting that on Saturday, August 6th. And it's going to be at the Boyle Street Community League. So we're keeping it all downtown. Really excited about that. So Destra is one of the top performers in the Caribbean for soca music. So we're super excited to have her and our full band. So that's something great for us.
Now, can you explain to the public at home that they can actually be a part of the parade?
Absolutely. Anybody can join a band. I know people think that you've got to have some kind of experience or be from the Caribbean, but anyone can join a band. You just have to, you can go to our website or call the Kerry West office and find out the band leaders, and you can just basically purchase a costume and dance behind the truck on the parade day. So it's that simple.
I actually did that one year. It was a long time ago though. Now you keep saying bands. Now for people that have no idea about the culture, when you hear bands, you think bands, instruments. Can you explain to us what you mean by bands?
So a band is basically a group of people that get together. They form, they create costumes around a theme. So for instance, some years we have a band that is called African Dancers or Colors of the Caribbean or Birds of a Feather. Just whatever the theme is, they create costumes around that theme. They get a big truck, a flatbed, put a DJ on there that's blasting some Caribbean music, and you get a bunch of people to follow you, and you got a band.
And that's a band. Well, thank you so much. You've been watching Arts Talk with Adora Okoye. We'll see you right back after this, after the break.
If you haven't had a chance to get down to that fantastic facility that we have here in Edmonton, Fort Edmonton, you got to get down there. We're going to go down and see Jen on 1846.
Okay, so I had so much fun last time in the 1920s that I had to come back even further to 1846 at Fort Edmonton Park. So we're gonna wander around and interview some of the actors here and check out just what they would have had to recreate in order to build the Fort Edmonton Park. So we're so pumped, and come with me, let's check it out. What's your name?
My name's Geraldine.
Geraldine, I'm Jennifer. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too.
Yes, it's a Roman's house.
What would you say your biggest challenge has been getting into this character in 1846?
For me, my biggest challenge probably would be the clothes. This type of shirt, this type of skirt is not something that even my grandmother hasn't wore, so that would probably be it.
Okay, I'm standing in the trading post with Mary here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about this beaver fur, which seems to be quite popular right now. Do you have a moment to maybe explain the beaver?
Sure. No one's in trading yet. So this here is our beaver pelt that we keep here in the trade store, and we call this the made beaver. So it's basically the standard beaver that we compare all of the pelts that are coming into the store to.
Oh, interesting. Why is this one so special?
Well, this one's pretty special because it's a winter beaver, which means that its fur is the thickest and it's the darkest. So we want all of the furs that the traders are bringing in to be from the winter time.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so they bring you in this beautiful beaver fur, and then what? They get any of this magical stuff back here?
They could, yes, but we first have to grade it for quality.
Okay.
And so this is the made beaver, which means it's one full beaver's worth. But if a trader brings in a beaver that might be a bit smaller than it, it could be a 3/4 beaver or half a beaver. So after we grade all of them for quality, the average trader is bringing in about 20 to 30 pelts. Then, we take them all in and they can trade for different goods that they would have wanted.
Oh, awesome. Well, let's go catch ourselves some beaver and come in and do some trading. Thank you so much, Mary.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we are now at the Cree camp and we're doing some beading, I think. What are you making for us?
Well, I'm making a necklace. This is the regalia that we wear here. and I'm making this medallion, and I'm just sewing the backing on. I've done the beadwork.
Oh, wow. How many beaver pelts did that cost you for those beads?
Well, I'll have to ask my sister.
Yeah. Well, it would have taken one made beaver for about a pound of beads.
How did you choose the colors?
Well, the colors here are from Europe. That's where we get our beads from today. And I just like the red and the blue. They're my favorite colors.
Oh, well, it looks beautiful. Where can I buy one of these?
I don't know, you have to come back next time we come to trade here. Maybe I can sew one in the winter.
Oh, awesome. How many times a year do you come to trade?
We come about 2 or 3 times a year.
Awesome. Okay, well, we'll have to make sure we're back at the next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Jen, all the way back to 1846.
Yeah, time traveling's really hard.
You've done it twice in this show.
It's been really good, though. I feel like I learned a little bit of something.
And you still look amazing, like it didn't have any effect traveling back all those years.
Thank you. That's really sweet of you to say.
Oh, thanks, Jen. And
What
it's
did
I'm
you-
trying to because it's your birthday month. But anyway, viewer question.
This guy. Yes.
When we were at the farmers market, Strathcona Farmers Market, we asked a viewer question to find out kind of what the responses would be. So the viewer question that we had last time was, what was your favorite Edmonton festival? And we got some responses. So Scott L. wrote to us that his favorite festival is Taste of Edmonton. And he's actually from Minnesota, but when he comes into Edmonton, he loves to go to Taste of Edmonton.
I think he has excellent taste, if you will.
Good one there, Jen.
I have one from Aaron B., and his favorite is the Edmonton Comic Expo, which I would have to say Comic-Con is also one of my favorites. So he says, every year I attend the Edmonton Comic-Con and love seeing people dress up, amazing, in various costumes of their favorite comic book characters.
Nice.
Thank you, Mr. Aaron.
And we got one more, which was from Jason K. Now, it's not really an arts festival per se, but they do have arts and crafts there, and that is K-Days. He says, I've always enjoyed going to K-Days when I was a child and still enjoy going today with my own family. For us, it's become a tradition, so he enjoys going to K-Days. Do you go to K-Days?
I do. I still wish, though, that we had an Arts Talk festival.
I think we
out
should.
here.
We still have to work on that.
Yeah,
So
next year.
we have a new question
Yes,
to ask
go
our
ahead.
viewers.
Tell us.
So the new question for this show is, what's your favorite live theater venue in Edmonton? And there's many. Do you have a favorite one?
I'm going to suck up and say perhaps it's the Walterdale. A good friend of mine has a tendency to do shows there.
That's a great venue, Jen. That's excellent,
Thank you.
excellent. So if you do have a response that you want to send us, please send it to artstalkedmonton@gmail.com, and we'll make sure to get your response on the next show.
You can also visit our Facebook page, Arts Talk, and Twitter @ArtsTalkTV,
bet.
and give us your answers as well. We look forward to hearing them.
We want to hear what your responses are. Well, another great show has passed. As we've already talked about, you were doing a lot of time traveling in this show.
I was. And you know what? Next show I think is going to be even more exciting because it is the end of our very first season and the beginning of season 2 on Shaw TV. So excited that we're going to do a live show. So it's going to be amazing.
In front of a live audience is what Jen is saying. Now, Jen has a bit of stage fright, so that's always a little bit scary for her. 'Cause
Yes, so
she's
just
fine with the
nobody-
cameras, but when
yeah.
the audience is there, that's a little bit scary.
So nobody look at me while we're on stage.
And
yeah.
one other quick thing, which is really kind of cool. While we were shooting tonight, we've had a behind-the-scenes camera.
Yes.
So we're doing a behind-the-scenes segment on Arts Talk, which I think will be really cool, especially
Yeah.
for all those people out there that watch the show and want to kind of get an idea how a show is done here at Shaw TV in Edmonton.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to see what we do and how we prepare and all
Check
the fun
out our
that we
lovely
have.
volunteers and
Right,
all the work that goes
and
into it.
And if you're interested in wanting to volunteer at Shaw TV, it gives you an idea of how great the crews work
Yeah,
here.
you
And
could work
and
with
what we do.
amazing
You could
people
work
like
with us.
us.
You could come and volunteer for Arts Talk.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Okay, well, we better get prepared for our next show because being live, I'm going to have a lot of fright to work out of my system.
You work on that, Jen.
I will.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again.
Everything you do is just alright, and I can't walk away from it. Distinct beats.
I talk struggle, never to complain. I'm trying to explain this love I have for the game. Why I've been through the rain. why I suffered all this pain. And all for what? For one shot at the fame, for one glimpse at the top, one moment that I can claim. I can't blame them for calling my plan insane. Still I remain, never been conflicted. Though I stick out and stand out like a misfit. Though I bring the proof and they still try to dismiss it. To tell the truth, that's exactly as predicted. I'm here to stay, so y'all better get with it, cause and if I do, I'm leaving battered and bruised. I'm leaving in a casket, they crying in the pews. They watching me, they expecting me to lose. So in my shoes, tell me what would you do? I'm in too deep, there's no way that I can move. And hell nah, this ain't no passing phase. This ain't a gimmick or something that'll change with age. This ain't something I can shake in just a few days. It won't fade, it's every time I press play. It's in my veins, in my bones, in my brain. It's a ghost, it's a demon, it keeps calling my name. I slave to it, I'm shackled up, held down like a prisoner, addicted to this hell ground. Been spellbound, held captive by my own thoughts. Took myself hostage, now I'm ripping the chains off. The reins off, hold on for the ride, cause and if I do, I'm leaving battered and bruised. I'm leaving in a casket, they crying in the pews. They watching me, they expecting me to lose. So in my shoes, tell me what would you do? I'm in too deep, there's no way that I can move. And you know what it took to get me here. 27 years, couple thousand beers. Took the long road, you can skip the 3 cheers. Yeah, and you can hold the applause. You can save the congrats, I ain't waiting on your props. I don't need to hear a thing, got no time for me to pause. It's no draws, this is strictly win-lose. This is red or black, who you trying to push your chips to? You know where I'm at, after everything we've been through. It's my turn, there's no room for me to budge. They say I'll crash and burn, I guess you can be the judge. But and if I do, I'm leaving battered and bruised. I'm leaving in a casket, they crying in the pews. They watching me, they expecting me to lose. So in my shoes, tell me what would you do? I'm in too deep, there's no way